Let's rock and roll. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sisters for Harmony Vodcast. We are super excited to be here. This is our first time this year, seeing how New Year's fell on the first. We figured we weren't going to do a show that day. And so Happy New Year to everyone who celebrate that New Year's. We say Happy New Year to you. And we're excited to be here. And we're coming in strong. It's Black History Month for us. Every day is Black History Day, right? And so, but we do acknowledge that this is Black History Month. And with that, Brother Amoja is going to open us up and tell us how we got connected to our guest this evening. So I'm going to pass the mic. Call me DJ Kathy instead of Cassidy. I'm going to pass that mic.
Well, Hotel family, peace and blessings. We greet you in the name of God and our ancestors, in whose footsteps we most humbly walk. Understanding that what we do now is a continuation that was passed forward to us by our ancestors. So we continue the work, continue the movement, and we are not struggling, but we are moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, family, this is Black History Month, and as you know, we celebrate Black history every day, 365.
Mm-hmm.
But in this month, which came from Negro Week to Black History Month, and the reason we have February as Black History Month is because Carter G. Woodson started it in the month of February because of the birthday of Frederick Douglass and Reverend Allen. Those two men birthdays are in February, and that is why we have Black History or Negro Week, which came into Black History Month for people who might not know that.
It's not just because it's only got 28 days?
No, it's because it has the birthday of Frederick Douglass and Pastor Allen, who started the AME Church.
Thank you. Okay. All right.
So tonight, we have a very special guest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy Matthew Palmer's with us. Now, this brother came to us through a sister I met named Michiku. Michiku, if you ever have a chance to listen to this sister speak, please do yourself a favor and listen to her speak.
Mm-hmm.
She actually talks a lot about the Black presence in Philadelphia and what it did to give us so much of our steps forward in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Because as some of us know, Philadelphia was the first major city going north for the slaves, for the free slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Now there was other cities around the area, but Philadelphia, because of its size and the power of what was going on in Philadelphia, it was known if you made it to Philadelphia, you were free.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a group called 1838 Black Metropolis. Michiku is part of it, Brother Palmer is part of it. And what they do is to re-educate us on the history of Philadelphia from our perspective, from our foundation. A lot of times it has been trying to be whitewashed. And then we know now what's going on with the president's house. We're going to talk a little bit about that. So Brother Palmer is going to walk us through what he does in Philadelphia with Black history, because it's very important. If you ever come to Philadelphia, there's certain things as a person of color you should definitely visit. Mm-hmm. And we're going to go over that because some of them are not on the tour, on the regular tour. Mm-hmm. Brother Palmer has a tour he does. And brothers and sisters, you got to go on their tour. Mm-hmm. You're going to change your perspective of what we did to establish what is now the United States of America.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm really happy to have Brother Palmer on it. Thank you, brother, for coming on board. And
thank you for having me.
Let's get going.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for all the kind words. I just wanted to start by saying it is very, very true that Philadelphia indeed is the lighthouse for all things abolitionist history, Black history, music history, intellectual history, schools, churches, all have a foothold here in the Black community. And I'm blessed enough to be chosen by people like Michiko, Brother Umoja. I just wanted to make sure Michiko for all the people. Mm-hmm. It's a very amazing name.
Yes.
And Morgan, our other co-founder, are two amazing women who have started this work since 2021. Michiko started in 2021, Meeting Morgan in 2022, and the organization 1838 Black Metropolis becoming a 501c in 2023. So all of this work is, as you said, amazing, but it's also very new to the community, right? And Philadelphia itself, such a huge part of discovering these small pockets of amazing history in the city. And we get all of that with like Temple University and the Bloxon Collective. And so that work, doing work, uncovering the story of our ancestors on the back of our ancestors. And so I'd like to say I'm blessed to have the opportunity to be able to give the tours, right? As spokesperson, my job is to make sure people know these things and our message to the community is one that is understandable and engaging, right? Not only engaging, but like introducing people to opportunities for them to educate themselves, because we also have curriculums. And so it is beautiful work. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and very interested to have a great dialogue.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, Dr. Ramantal, you've been quiet at the moment, so we're gonna pass it over to you. You can introduce yourself to Matthew. You can go on and jump with burning questions, whatever it is that go for it.
Sure. So welcome, Matthew. I'm Natasha Ramantal. I'm actually an independent patient advocate. I'm a nurse by education and training. And so I help a number of individuals just navigate complex healthcare systems here and abroad. But, as you know, advocacy takes many forms. I love what I've learned so far about 1838 Black Metropolis. And I wanted to ask you specifically what lessons from Black-led communities of the past most influences your approach to development and advocacy today?
Oh, wow. Thank you, Dr. Natasha. That is a great question. If I had to hone in on a few people, because in tourism, for how I give tours, it helps to center around the people to make it a little bit more connecting, because we all have an uncle, we all have a mother, we all have grandparents who have influenced us. So if you take it from that way, the first person that comes to mind for me is a man named Francis Johnson, and that's music, right? He is Philadelphia's premier composer of the time. He was born in 1792. His story is he's a musician that traveled around the world. First Black composer to travel around the world. First American composer to travel to Buckingham Palace. That's a Black guy from South Philly.
Really?
So, that's a story that I would say influenced me the most, just in my love for music and my feeling that music helps people remember things, right? We all think back to a song, and that song is attached to a memory, whether it's good or bad. And having someone from a community, when most people, when you talk about the 1700s or the 1800s and Black people, don't think of a successful composer. Right? Or might I add, William Still, someone who also has influenced my desire to share and tell stories. One of his amazing accomplishments, as you may know, is the Underground Railroad, a book of stories of people who found freedom in Philadelphia. And so like capturing those stories, very inspiring to me. And if I had to lean on one more person, it would have to be, because I could go on forever, but
I gotta say, he going. Did y'all see the look? He was like, "I'm going here in the memory banks. I'm gonna pull somebody they ain't never heard of before. I'm gonna do some teaching tonight." I caught you, Matthew. Come on.
I want to make sure they know.
Come on.
Carolyn LeCount is gonna be my last. And they say you save the best for last, because Carolyn LeCount is a woman who single-handedly helped shape education for the Black community. There's this amazing thing happening with 1838 right now, where we are honoring the Institute of Colored Youth. And the Institute of Colored Youth is now Cheney University. So people don't even know, in the Black Metropolis, which is why we name it that, there is education, there is music, there is advocacy and abolition at a time when, if you ask anyone who's not searching for or blessed to have this knowledge, they will tell you, well, most Black people were slaves without a second guess. And the reality is, in Philadelphia specifically, that is not the case. Instead, in Philadelphia, you get most of the footholding for the abolitionist movement.
Yeah.
And so those are my three. I'm gonna limit myself to three because I know that I'm sure there's more questions.
I'm gonna tap
all
you
the time.
Look, I'm gonna tap. And first, let me tell you, your mic is a little grainy for some reason. We're picking up a little bit of static, and I don't want it
because I'm on my laptop.
Okay. I don't want anybody to miss any of this.
Is it bad?
It's not.
Connect some headphones.
Yeah, I gotta say, try some headphones and see if that cleans it and clears it up.
Does it work if I turn you all down a little bit? How does that? Is it still grainy?
Yeah, it's still there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got like
My
a little
apologies.
static. No, it's all right. I just don't want anybody to miss any of it, because I said I'm gonna tap you for two more, because you pulling people out the woodworks and you hitting us all in our love space. So from the music piece, Edmund and I have a godson who's a big jazz artist here in Philadelphia, V. Shane Frederick. So he is. So we're here for the music. Okay.
I love it.
And my aunt, she was an opera singer here in Philadelphia. So, you know, when we think about that rich Philadelphia music sound, we have the popular people like Patti LaBelle, we have Jill Scott, we have Grover Washington, we have Marian Anderson, right? So we know Philly is something, we would say is something about that Schuylkill punch.
Yeah.
So we're good for the music. Then you went and you talked about William Still. My family has a direct connection with William Still. So it's like that history piece. So you speak in our language, and then education. Well, I am education, right? We talk about education all the time. A business colleague of mine, Dion Chambers, is all about education. So we are education 24/7, 365. So I'm saying, all right, give us two more. We got three different categories. What else you got?
Hey, Dr. Walls.
Yes.
Well,
I was going to say, if anyone has any questions,
I'm gonna have to go Octavius Valentine Cato. You may recognize him from his amazing statue on the south side of City Hall.
Yes.
Doing his best superhero impression. He was a jack of all trades. Someone who single-handedly helped Philadelphia realize how important the Black vote was. After we had it and then we didn't have it, he helped bring it back in a way that ultimately cost him his life. Kind of building a foundation for abolitionists after that time period. And that's 1871.
Okay.
He also played a little bit of baseball. He also went to ICY. He was also the first African American in the Benjamin Franklin Institute, when that was a place for science study and not just a big place with a rubber heart. You know?
Come on.
So
yes.
there's him, because we all know the Benjamin Franklin Institute.
Yes.
But then we don't think about it as an institute.
Yes. Yes.
And see, one more. I'm jumping through. Okay. Had to get there. James Fortin.
Ooh.
A name that may be a little bit more popular in the city of Philadelphia now, after the Museum of the American Revolution did their amazing exhibit on him and his family. But someone who shows that even in the time when the Constitution is being read, that there were free Black people in Philadelphia.
Yes.
A man who at his time, in his heyday, as a business owner, I like to call him the first equal opportunity business owner in Philadelphia.
Okay. Because
he had a sail making business that had equal parts white and Black employees.
Okay.
Now that's affirmative action before affirmative action.
Right.
And he's considered one of the wealthiest Philadelphians of the time period as well.
And what year are we talking?
So he passes in the 1800s. He was
Okay.
born, I believe, in 1760. Okay, don't give in the 1760s. I
Okay.
don't want to say a date and be wrong.
Got you. Fair enough.
So in the 1760s, he fights in the Revolutionary War
Uh-huh.
at 14 years old.
Oh, wow.
So mid 60s, early
Okay.
60s.
Okay.
So just
Fantastic.
those names. Give our viewers and listeners some things to Google.
Yes.
And if you don't want to use Google, not so shameless plug, you can always go to 1838 Black Metropolis.
Ain't no
They have a
shame
website.
in it.
Ain't no, no, they need to go there. Don't
Yes.
go
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
Yeah. Hopefully
I'ma
that's
drop
the first
the
thing that
link
comes
in the
up when you Google.
I'm gonna drop the link in the chat room in just one moment. Go ahead, Brother Moja.
Appreciate it.
No, as I'm listening to Brother Palmer talking, and I was really blessed to be hired by Mother Bethel AME Church to videotape the 9 weeks of their school, the Freedom School they had with Asala. And in being the videographer, I met so many people, and I heard so much of. I love history, so I was able to fill in some of the gaps of my history knowledge in the class. And as I'm listening to him talk, and he's naming some people we spoke about in the Freedom School. and I thank him for doing that, because I know there's a lot of people, because I'm not from Philadelphia. So I know there's a lot of people outside of Philadelphia and in Philadelphia who don't know some of these names that he's mentioning. And this is why Black History Month is so important, is where we highlight other parts of our history. Okay, and I thank him for coming on and start putting these names. And hopefully people who are listening will Google and they'll go to the 1838 Black Metropolis site. You will do yourself a tremendous favor and a blessing if you go there and see what they're doing, because with what we see happening with the President's House in Philly, we could go over that later. We need this history. They're working very hard to take our history away from us. And so we need to have a place where we establish it and people come to us. I mean, Google is nice and everything like that, but we need to have our place where we place our history so we can have access to it readily. And 1838 is one of those places.
Yes,
Indeed.
for sure. Let me put up here real quick. Dr. Wade said, I love this man's depth of knowledge and appreciation for African American history, culture, richness, and flavor, which is American history. Once I dropped that link to 1838 Black Metropolis, she said, I'm heading there now. And then she went on to say she shared it with her nieces and nephews. So
yes,
right, we got to take
you.
the information and pass it on. So it's so important.
That's Ujima. That's the principle of Ujima, the third principle of Nguzo Saba.
All right, Dr. Ramantal, I know you burning. What you got?
Now I want to hear more about how Matthew got involved in this type of work, because he really does have a depth of knowledge in this area. So I'm just curious how you got involved.
Wow. So my involvement comes from, as most beautiful things in the Black community, a loving Black family, right? They will tell you that those don't exist. But I believe I am here as a testament to that they do exist. They just don't show up the way we assume they would, right? Like my mother, an amazing woman, Melissa Carol Tiley Palmer, if she's listening, had to shout her out. She was working at a place called Ile Ife, if you're familiar with the Village of Arts and Humanities.
And Melissa she's present.
There she is. Yep. I knew she was there. She was working at the Village of Arts and Humanities in my youth and saw it fit to put me in every piece of African drum and dance that they had when I was 8 years old. And I was blessed to be taught by the late, great H. German Wilson, a playwright, an educator, and he put me on stage for the first time. And that was a Three Little Pigs show. It was great. I bought a school jacket. Quite exciting. But that kind of started my public speaking experience and enjoyment. Throughout that time, I always felt a connection to Black history. And I've been blessed to be able to be exposed to a lot of people in Philadelphia during the early 90s and the early 2000s who were making separate parts of Black history. Everything from Rennie Harrison Pure Movement to early Meek Mill and Reed Dollar battle rap videos as an editor, Pure Movement as a dancer. So I have an amazing past, which is giving me a lot of artistic ability. 5 years ago, I was looking for a job, as that sometimes is the case, and I stumbled upon a double-decker bus tour. Did the tour. It was an hour and a half. I loved it, but I noticed the script they give me did not have a lot of Black names. And so for 3 years, I added my own. Every stop, I just found someone that was
Look
relevant,
at that.
right? And then in 2023, I was blessed to meet Michiko and Morgan, and they kind of are kind of changed my perspective on American history by showing me all of these amazing spaces where Black history wasn't only made in Philadelphia, but was pioneered in Philadelphia, and how that has affected not only the city of Philadelphia, but the globe as a whole. And now I'm just an advocate for the fact that Philly did it first is my motto forever. And I just thought it was for all things American culture. Now I know that it's for all things Black American culture, which if you ask me, you cannot separate the two. They are one and the same. American culture is just Black culture for people who don't want to be us, which is great because what we have going on is some of the most amazing stuff that's been happening cyclically throughout history. So that's how I got in. That's why I love it, because it's self-repeating, and you could always point to Philadelphia and go, well, that made its way around the world.
Oh, that's very interesting.
It is.
Yeah, right. And I'm just thinking, you had the opportunity, Dr. Ramatal, to come visit us about almost a year ago at this point. And so now here we have Matthew giving facts. So next time you come and you bring the family, right? It's a tour. But
that's an excellent tour to take them on, especially young kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And I love that. One of the things my mother used to make sure we do, she would say, treat your city like a space that you don't know. And then that way, go on tours, learn about things. And Matthew, I love the fact that you were so moved by being on the tour and realizing and recognizing the gaps that were there. And instead of just talking about it and complaining about it, you upped the ante and filled the gaps in, and now you're giving tours. So for people who are interested in going on a tour with you, learning more about what you know, what do they need to do?
Hurry up.
Not the train is leaving the station. Y'all better come on.
Don't even wait till this is done. Go right to the 1838 website. You could go to Black Journey as well. Either one of those organizations, book yourself a tour. I'm talking you and you and you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody come, because Philadelphia has an opportunity, specifically this year, when the entire world is looking at us to see what a celebration of this country looks like. And they're looking at a person who is in a position of power that I didn't put him in. Try to tell a story that is about people who look like me without people who look like me. And so as we see that, and we get amazing work from Michael Cord and ATAC to stand in the place and defend those things, there's a hole there, right? The story is being told, but now there is an awareness that there are holes. We have the opportunity to fill those holes. Right. And because of that, everybody I see, everyone I've met in my life who is aware that I'm doing the tours has been like, hey, dude, you're doing amazing work. We love the fact that you're telling these stories. And I'm like, you love it because they want to take it away. So this is our opportunity to make it loud, right? This is our opportunity to stand on the hill and say, come look at us while you have an opportunity to. Because if they take that away, or they try to take that away, because you can't silence our voices.
Right.
Because we are the voice of the nation.
Right.
We are American history. American history has never been devoid of a little color. And so because of that, it's just, to me, it's easy to want to do the work.
Yeah.
I always say, my mom always says, I'm a little revolutionary. And I think in reality, I'm a lot of revolutionary. I'm just not loud about it. Because the way I walk, the way I talk, the work I do speaks for itself. And now is an opportunity where I get to be loud about it.
Yeah.
So I just want everybody to join me on the hill.
Come on.
Pick a person, find a person, learn a person, connect with someone who looked like you and did amazing things that you want to do. If you want to do something, there's someone in Philadelphia who was successful at doing that thing between the years of 1700 and 1900.
It's so true.
I love music, Francis Johnson. And it's that simple. But for me, as simple as it gets is as complicated as it gets, because now that I know one person, well, who are you hanging out with? And then you get two more people, well, who are they hanging out with? And if these two people know each other, and then this thing happened, because in the webs you see unfold in the community really show that it wasn't just a few good people doing a few good things. It was just as close-knit as your church family. They had bars and stuff they hung out at. They went to plays and parties, and they had things that we have today. Just everything they did was so amazing because the metropolis lived and loved itself. And people will tell you Philly is a place where it's crabs in a barrel. What they won't tell you is those crabs will sit in that barrel and build a mansion.
Right.
So that's what I want people to take away from it, and that's what makes me excited.
So now tell us this, the tours that you do. So I know on the site it said there's some guided tours, there's some self-guided tours, there's some kid tours. What are the different options that people have?
Oh, wow. So if you are a person that likes to walk around the city, kind of get lost in the amazingness, the self-guided tours are great. As tours, we do not offer all of the self-guided tours yet.
Okay.
We did just start the Arrivals tour, which is amazing. It's more about following the footsteps of someone who came from the South and would be emancipated by force or scheme. However, we had to get you free, we would get you free.
Got you.
And that walks you through a street that others would have walked.
Oh, interesting.
It tells the story of people who came through the street, through the city of Philadelphia, through the metropolis, and then came back to help other people find freedom as well. And then you got the 101 tour, which an amazing tour guide, My Jewel, calls the OG tour. And that covers some of the same places that most Philadelphia history tours covers. It just tells the story of the Black Philadelphia from the 17 and 1800s. And then, of course, there's tours for the children, which are the same, but tailored to a different frame of mind.
Yes.
Because
and what age?
We have done tours for all ages, college students through like grade school. The Jubilee School has been my personal favorite tour of my career. Adults feel some type of way when you say kids are your favorite. They were amazing. They were 5th and 6th grade.
Okay.
And the way they soak up knowledge is different. The questions they ask are different. Their ability to imagine the world in that time period is different. So that's why I like it. Adults usually are really strict, and I gotta open their imaginations. So we do all ages, mostly in Center City and South Philly, even along the 7th Ward. if you're familiar, which is like South Street. And there is a beautiful stretch in Northern Liberties that you could see on the self-guided tours that we have not yet opened up to the public.
Okay. All right.
Just give you a little bit of everything.
Thank you. No, this is very important because I know as schools, we're in the second half of the year. Schools are thinking about where, once all of this snow and ice disappears, where are they going to be taking their students, especially after spring break, right? For some of these field trips. And so this is good for them to know as an option with all of the controversy that is happening down by the Liberty Bell. And if you can just let some people know, because we have an international audience today, if you could just let them know what has happened and why is this so detrimental to the history.
All right. So because I'm a writer and an artist first,
yes,
I gotta use some creative license before I get in depth.
No problem. I thought you were gonna say I wrote a song about it. Here, go. I thought you was gonna sing or something.
Not yet. We might have to wait a little bit for that one.
Okay.
But what I would say is someone who don't know the Kool-Aid flavor is criticizing the Kool-Aid flavor.
Gotcha.
We have a person in power who I did not put in power. I like to say that because that just keep it there.
Okay.
Has made executive decisions about the stories we can and cannot tell in our history at a site that originally did not want to tell the story of our history. So President Trump has decided our story, the story of the 9 enslaved individuals that George Washington held in the White House, the presidential mansion, in the center of the city of Philadelphia, after we had already written laws against slavery, decided to cycle them, which is a 6-month process, 5 months, 29 days. You take them from Philadelphia to a neighboring space, then you bring them back across the border. Technically, they're not slaves here. After 6 months, they get to apply for manumission. He bypassed that by cycling, which in 1788 was considered illegal. He wasn't president until 1790. That story is told by ATAC, and Trump has decided to take it away. So that's currently what's happening. That's a story that took ATAC a long time and a lot of money to get the resources together, the information, the knowledge to present it to the public. In a country where we have freedom of speech. Right? It's not like blasphemous. There's no lies. It's just a historical retelling of a community that existed in the city of Philadelphia. And 9 people who in Philadelphia could and should have been free. And that story touches a lot of people, and I've had a lot of great questions over my tourism career, and without the visual accompaniment that is often required in storytelling to elicit memory, right? So we don't forget these people. It does become our charge to stand up and say, we put these documents together. We put this information out to the public. We are the people who are telling this story. Even as president, you do not have the right to tell us we cannot tell these stories.
And to the point, right, they've been researched, they have been documented as facts. These are the reality. This isn't a made up pretend situation. These are actually accounts of people's lives that were highlighted and put on display for other people to recognize and really understand the social context of the time.
Hey, Dr. Walls.
Yes.
Since I love what he just said, and just we have to also remember we have a global audience. So when we talk about the president's house in Philadelphia, let's let the global audience know that Philadelphia was the first capital in the country before it was moved to Washington, D.C. That's why we had the president's house in Philadelphia originally, before it was moved to Washington, D.C. So for those who are listening, outside of the U.S. or in the U.S. who didn't know that Philadelphia was the first capital of the country before it was moved to Washington, D.C. So that's why
And
we have the President's House here.
yeah, I'm glad that you said that, because a lot of times when the same way our history is given in pieces and we have to search and find the missing pieces to fill in the story, is the same way other countries receive information about history. And so sometimes we move with an assumption that people know. And I know, as I spent 2 months in Ghana teaching in 2019. And while I was there, there was a conference there, and someone did not know. I'm telling you, 2019. So this is 6 years ago, 7 years ago now, almost at this point, right? Because I was there in October through December. They did not know that the Underground Railroad was not an actual railroad. They did not know that the enslavement period of African Americans went on for over 400 years. They thought it was like a one and done. They did not know, and they were coming from different countries in Africa. And so it was, there's this moment of, but then there's that realization, oh, y'all get history in bits and pieces too. Oh, okay. So there was a lot of education that was happening even in the conversations within the audience, while education was happening from the speaker as well. And so we have to take those pieces into consideration. So to have someone like you, Matthew, to have someone like the people who've done the research at the President's House, Brother Moja, for you to take that moment and fill in that gap of information, it's exactly it. It's filling in the gaps. And we recognize that there's tremendous gaps. We've only heard of one framework or a few frameworks from a certain lens. And Brother Moja and I talk about 360 degrees to every situation. There's still 359 other points of view that haven't been told. And within each degree, there's 360 degrees. So there's infinite realities to the situation. And to be able to stand up and tell the story and listen to the story to help us grow as people and as humanity becomes very important. So we definitely don't want to restrict the stories.
That's why it's so important having Brother Palmer on tonight during this time, because as you're talking about your trip to Ghana, I remember I was telling you what happened to me after 9/11. We were seeing the mayor of New York on TV after 9/11, and all the firefighters with him were white.
Mm-hmm.
So being from the Caribbean, someone called me from the Caribbean and asked me, "Do you guys have any black firefighters?"
Wow.
Yeah, because all the time, he was on Saturday Night Live. All these firefighters were white, and it hit me. I said, "Yeah, we have black firefighters, but because I see them, I'm here. The people overseas in the Caribbean, where I'm from, did not see them." So it's because one knew me, they called me and asked me the question, which led me to talk to the Vulcan Society and get involved with the Black firefighters after 9/11. So having Matthew on, it's the same thing. Having him on and giving the research, giving the information, giving the names, someone is listening and it's going to click and start making them want to look for more. And that's why we put 1830s information out there. We have to do the research ourselves. It is not going to be given to us as we can. It's going to be they are trying to take it away from us. So now we have to have a conscious mind to go look and see what gap that we need filled in as we move deeper in the 21st century, because we have to pay it forward, just like Dr. King paid it forward for us, Malcolm paid it forward. Now it's our turn to pay it forward for our children and our grandchildren. So that's why it's so important having him doing this right now.
Matthew, is there anything that you would like to share? I know this is a loaded question, and that's why I'm asking it. Is there anything that you would like to share that you want people to know, that people should take into consideration?
Oh, wow. That is a loaded question. I appreciate it. I think what I want people to take in, which is really, really big for me, and this is less of Matthew and my 1838 spokesperson role and more of Matthew and my I'm a Black man from Philadelphia role. History happens every day. The more we look for it, the easier it is to find. Filling in those holes, as you said, is not something that requires us to go beyond our community. 1838 is an amazing organization that is right here, local to our city. That's one piece of a grand puzzle that's always uncovering more information. So I want to encourage people, history doesn't have to be James Fortin families or William Still's families. Do you know your grandparents' history? Do you know your great-grandparents' history?
Yes.
Because those little pieces, even on a personal level, can build such a beautiful story.
Yep.
And I'm blessed enough to have a mother who believes in family history and legacy. She is like, listen, I'm going to teach you how to bop. Because when you get a woman, you're going to need to know how to bop. And I'm like, Mom, it's the 2000s. No one's thinking about that. But at parties with her and my grandmother, I could get on the dance floor with the best of them.
That's
and that comes from having a community that wants to keep itself alive. And how do you we will educate our own. That's what she said. Who better to keep our stories alive than us?
That's right.
There's a reason why people who are not in these stories do not want to hear them. Sometimes it's because it's not for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's because it's for us. Because if we allow them to tell it, we slowly get washed out of it. And if that happens now in a city where the whole world is looking at it and we don't stand up to say something, that hill that we're climbing becomes a lot larger. But luckily we got people standing up. So 100 people running up a hill is a lot harder to stop than one. And so the more people find out, the more people are interested, the better our chances are of having a history that lives beyond us.
And Matthew, I love that visual, and Dr. Ramato, I'm going to come to you next. I love that visual of 100 people running up the hill with the same information and then some, right? Because if 50% are knocked out, 50% still have the information and carry it forward, right? And so it is so important that we strengthen ourselves and we empower ourselves with the knowledge and information of these stories, such as the 5 individuals that you mentioned at the top of the show. And for those who are just joining us, you'll just have to watch the replay. Hit that subscribe button. It costs you absolutely nothing. And therefore, you can play it back and share it with others. Now, in order to capture all of this knowledge, retain it, right, we then have conversations about it. What a great way to reinforce the learning is through the conversation, to go on the walking tours, to go on the guided tours, to do the additional research on the website, which you can see right there in the chat room. And then you can expand the research. You can go to the libraries, you can go to the bookstores, you can hit Google, you can go down YouTube, you can check on TikTok University, right? And one of the things with research is we have to verify what we're reading. So we can't just take one account. We have to make sure we're looking at multiple accounts and building that story. So, Dr. Ramatal, thoughts, comments, questions?
There's so much. I really, it resonates with me when you say that if we don't tell our own stories, someone else will, and they will get them wrong. And Black history isn't like a footnote; it's a foundation. And
wait a minute. It's not a footnote; it's a foundation.
It is.
I didn't know we could bring instruments.
Come on, of course you can. Come on. You need to go get yours.
No.
Look, you cool?
Next time. I'll say that.
You're gonna say, okay, all right, because I'll get up and go grab a djembe. Don't play with me. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, we have a responsibility, right, to document it in our own voices. Ensuring that Black stories are told. And it's not just about the past alone, it's about protecting our future. And so our stories carry truth, it carries resistance, it carries resilience, brilliance, healing, all of that. But silencing them has always been a tool. Telling them is actually an act of liberation. So when Black people tell our stories, we reclaim agency and dignity and power that history has tried to erase. And to
Mhm.
me, storytelling is part advocacy as well, because it shapes how we're seen, how we're treated, and how our resources flow into communities. So
Mhm.
Hey, Dr. Walls, it sounds like
yes.
Dr. Remental is using your favorite Kwanzaa word, coochie chakalia.
Yeah, sound just like it.
Self-determination. I love it. I love
Exactly.
it.
Exactly.
Yes.
She was Matthew, anything you want to chew on based on what she said? And I'm gonna put what your mama put up in here and you can talk about that in a moment.
Just the fact that it is very true that they will get the story wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they want to get the story wrong.
Yep.
You know, history belongs to the victor. That's what
Yes.
we hear all the time. In reality, history is alive with the people who remember it, whether you won or lost.
Mm-hmm.
If you have memory of it, you have memory of it and can share it. If it's
Yeah.
your history and you lost, but you retain your history doesn't lose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think that almost gave me chills, because I was
Yeah,
like, they will get it wrong, and I
that's
think
right.
they want to. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it benefits them to have us not aware of how great we already have been.
Mm-hmm. And
There's,
it's
yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I was just to compliment that. I was just gonna say, right, it's so important that we know our history so that when it is stated wrong, we know it's wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Part of the problem is we don't even know when the wrong kicks in
Yeah.
to it being
Yeah.
right in order to write it. And I'm saying RIGHT,
Mhm.
right, to write it, but also to WRITE to
Mhm.
write it. Right. We have to make sure that we know it as well to make the corrections when necessary.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
Dr.
Brother
Walls.
Mojo.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad we're saying this, and we've seen it over and over in different cultures. We see the Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From their perspective of the story is very different than the other people's perspective of the story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so as we right our wrong, we have to right our wrong, and our right is pushing their narrative to the side, which they don't like. That's why they will get the story wrong, because they want their narrative to be the center
The
point.
prominent.
And
Yes.
that's why we see what's going on in the president's house.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We see other things happen. They want their narrative to be the center point, even though it's not correct.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you put junk into a computer, you get junk out. Who's going to
Yes.
change? If you tell a computer 1 + 1 is 5, it's going to keep doing that. That's how you program it. So it's the
Mm-hmm.
program.
Mhm.
We have to change the program, and they don't want us to. That's why they're doing their best to remove it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And organizations like the 1838 and other organizations like Asala and them, what they're doing is making sure that footprint is the correct footprint.
Yeah.
So when our children come and they start looking, they got the right thing,
Right.
and that's
Now,
very important.
y'all want to see how smooth I am? Watch this. And as you're talking about programming, I understand that there's some programming taking place at the Mount Airy Garage Friday from 6 to 10 p.m.
I don't know her.
That was good. That was
Was that good?
Nice.
I got it, man. Look. All
Very
right,
nice
come on.
segue.
Okay,
As a
so
tour
what's that
guide,
about?
You become really good at segues.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That was definitely very good. But
Okay.
yes, in alignment with programming, right? Making sure that the subconscious is aware of what's important,
Mm-hmm.
so that when you have a moment where you have to rely on discernment to say, does that sound like my history?
Mm-hmm.
You have a frame of reference.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
really important. And so my frame of reference is, does that sound like my history? Is based off of the history that was taught to me from my mother.
Mm-hmm.
I know what feels right in my spirit because I have a discernment that was
Yes.
passed down to me. And because she's big in events, we are doing an amazing family run event where it is Just Melissa LLC, a cousin of mine, Mina Vibes, a friend of hers, Chef Dave, who's also our DJ and karaoke host, and myself, who runs an open mic at the Mount Airy Arts Garage every first and third Friday. So it is indeed this Friday. But if you find yourself being like, oh man, I can't make it this Friday, that's okay. We'll be there all year. First and third Friday, we got bop, we got cha-cha, we got karaoke. If you're a poet, a comic, you can come and do the open mic. We got food, and we will teach you how to line dance.
Oh,
You know, so 1838 is definitely my Bruce Wayne.
yes.
But on the back end, the Batman is just James Brown. You know, I like to get down. We'll teach you how to dance. We'll feed you. It's like a block party inside. It's a really good experience. I
Nice.
hope to see you all there.
Yes. But I think, as we're talking about culture and holistic, right? And that's one of the things I would say from an African-centered perspective. I think it's also from an indigenous perspective and many other cultures as well, right? That we are not dichotomous binary people, that we function holistically. And so as you're talking about the Mount Airy Arts Garage, you're talking about dancing, the amount of ways in which we express ourselves through physical movement and through music and through poetry and it's not an either or is a lack mindset. It is a both and so all of that feeds who we are as people, as a collective. As you talked about being able to bop, it enables you to interact with people of a different generation, which then creates connection, which then creates conversation. And so you end up being allowed to or privy to stories and statements that otherwise you would have never had access to if you didn't choose to engage in a way in which that particular generation is engaging.
That
And
is a
so,
beautiful way to say it.
yeah, I think it all
Not to
goes.
cut you
Go
off,
ahead.
but I
No,
do feel
go for
compelled.
it.
I want to
Please.
add a little bit more to that. A part of what makes it so amazing to me to be able to tell these historical stories is we have small pieces of all of those things: music, poetry, writing, photos, artwork from every major movement in American Black history, in Philadelphian Black history, in global Black history, available to us.
Wow.
1838 is doing a great job of putting all that together for the city of Philadelphia, which helps me because that's where I work. That's where I do all of my amazing things. And when you say step into, or when you say it gives me the ability to engage with different generations, how can I preserve the story of the people who I am aware of if I don't listen to their music?
Come on.
If I don't talk about their activism and understand their mindset? If I don't take a second and do the same dance moves they was doing to the music they was doing, I'll never understand how happy they were when they were doing it.
Yes.
I won't know what it feels like to hear a Francis Johnson piece of work in the 1800s. I'll never know that feeling. But I know what it's like to read what he had to go through to make the music, where he played the music. And I can go on YouTube today and pull up a couple samples. And when I tell that story, there's an emotional connection. Allow me to get a little nerdy. I went to Central High School. I am a nerd. There is actual scientific proof that the body remembers things based on geography, based on smell, based on sound. If you take the geography of where these amazing events happen and you play the sound that people were listening to in those amazing events, you are that much closer to resonating on the same vibrational frequency as they were at that moment. Everything vibrates. Energy is never destroyed. As people of color and of the diaspora, I know we believe the ancestors ain't go nowhere. And so if their vibrations are in those spaces and we can walk those spaces and say their names and listen to their music and think their thoughts, are we not that much closer to the power they have? Do we not carry that with us? Can we not give that to other people? And that's, I'm getting chills. That's the work that gives me excitement.
Yes.
And I've been asked twice in the past week, which lets me know I'm doing the right work.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think you should get something a little more, as people say, and I love it when they say this, stable.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to have a conversation with someone really close to me about like what that means to me is you're not meant for the work I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Because to me, stability isn't existing in a framework that wasn't meant for me in the first place. We're not finna act like any of these laws had us in mind when they were written down, because we were barely in those rooms.
Right. Right.
What's important to me is the rooms we were in. Where were the people that were doing the things I was doing at? Because if I go there and I build my legacy off of that, then the people who are telling my story are in the same places. The people who are interested in my story are the same places. And I'm living my life for the people who live and vibrate where I vibrate. And the amount of joy I feel doing the work I do is unparalleled.
Yes.
And because of that, I can get on platforms like this one, amazing space with amazingly educated people, and have a very sincere conversation about how important it is to preserve our, you can say racial if you want, you can say cultural if you want, I say our melanated legacy. Because if we're being honest, that's the thing that's sending and receiving the signals.
Yeah.
And that's just like my nerd. That's my nerd.
Yeah.
Had to take a second to nerd out.
We appreciate that aspect of yourself. Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
It's appreciated.
All right, Brother Moja, comments, questions, thoughts before we get ready to close out. This has been a power hour, y'all.
No, I thank him for what he's saying, because there's a lot of us saying it from different angles. We have 360 degrees of our story to be told and to be felt and to be embraced. So when we find someone who's saying from a different angle, we listen, and that might be the vibration we need to wake us up. Because all of us have this vibration that our ancestors left us. Okay? And as we look at this and we feel it, we know what it is. If you go to a church and you hear that music, and all of a sudden you feel the hair in the back of your neck just get up, and you just like, woo. So we know what it is. We felt it. Our parents and our grandparents and our great-grand, it's in our DNA, family. It's in our DNA. When I was growing up in New York, I heard stories about Adam Clayton Powell Jr., the Reverend, Congress, whichever title you want to put in front there. He was a reverend at some Abyssinia Baptist church, and how he used to say, okay, I'm here with my people, but now I'm going to get ready to go back down to D.C. and deal with those people. He knew how to shift himself from Harlem to D.C., and he was so good at what he did because he was in line with his ancestors. So what Brother Palmer is talking about, family, if you're listening, if you're coming to Philly, I'm going to say that if you're coming to Philly for the 250th anniversary of this country, or you're coming for the World Cup, or do yourself a favor and look up 1830 and see what tours they have while you're here. Add that to, I tell people, go see the Liberty Bell, go see all the other stuff, Constitution, go see them, but then come and check what they're not showing you.
That's right.
Come and check this out, and then you're going to get a more complete story of the history, not just of Philadelphia, but a history of Black Metropolis, which is us. So thank you so much, Brother Palmer, for what you did. Hopefully people will go to 1838 website and they'll check this out, because you're doing yourself a blessing by doing that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Definitely.
They got to come back, because they already went earlier, because I told them to go earlier, because they already went. I know they already went. They've been here with us. They felt it. They went and they came back. Go back again.
Go back.
Send it to your mom and them. Send it to your cousin. Send it to the person you don't like at the office. Send it to everybody. Make sure we have the opportunity to save what is important to us, which is the foundation that we were all brought up on. And push it forward. One of the things that I want to say before we end, everybody send it to a child. Send it to a child. Every
Mm-hmm.
child you know, get their hands on this information. That's
Yeah.
how we fight back.
Yeah. I remember seeing a broadcast. I think it might have even been on like 60 Minutes or something, but they were talking about Black History Month, and this was years ago, and the importance of Black history education. They interviewed a young lady who went to Masterman. And so that's what caught my attention. And she identified as a white woman. And she said she remembers when they first instituted Black history in the curriculum. And she said she was angry and she was like, why do I have to learn this? She said, but I sat and I listened. And she said, by the middle to the end of the semester, she said, I was angry that they had waited so long to incorporate it. She said, because how dare they keep so much information from me? She said, I realized how uneducated I was. And this is one of our high schools, one of our top high
Yes.
schools in Philadelphia, public high schools in Philadelphia. And she was, yeah, of course she would say that. Yes. Competing schools for those who don't know. So, right. It's all good. But it was, and I thought that was such a powerful, transformative experience for that person and hopefully for others as well. That, right, it is a matter, it's not an either or. Again, right, that's the lack mentality. It is the both and. It is true that George Washington was president. It is true that he owned slaves. It's multiple truths that's important for us to know and hold and deduce what we are to deduce from it so that we can use Sankofa, right, and be better for it now and in the future. But we have to have all of the information, because when you don't give me all the information, you're stealing from me. And that's a crime.
Yes.
So, right. So, Dr. Ramantal, thoughts, comments, questions as we get ready to close out?
This was a really great conversation, and I learned a lot. I have to say that it empowers me to even tell more stories, specifically as it relates to blacks in healthcare, even more. It affects all of us, but preserving Black narratives ensures that progress is credited correctly, but also that injustice is remembered accurately, because we have to tell those stories. And that's also how we honor our ancestors and equip the next generation with truth instead of omission.
That's
so
right.
I'll just say that Black history is living history, and we are its authors.
Yeah, I love that. Dr. Ramantal, real quick before we close out, I know you identified yourself as a patient advocate, which you are. And for people who need help with medical services nationally, this is a person who you can turn to help guide you. But can you just tell Matthew and some of our new audience members who hopefully have hit that subscribe button so that they join us regularly, that what it is that you do, medical tourism, and what exactly that is and what led you to do it? Because that's a Black history reality.
Sure, thank you. So I'm a nurse, but I'm also a board certified patient advocate. So I help individuals navigate the complex healthcare system and healthcare decisions, both in the U.S. and abroad. I connect them with trusted providers. I help coordinate care, communicate with clinicians, and also explain like their options and advocate for the patient, guiding them through the entire process. But it started because of my YouTube channel, which is solely focused on educating Black women who need assistance with educating themselves and educating providers on the unique needs that they have. Because unfortunately, there's so many things that are different when it comes to not only Blacks on a whole, but Black women in particular. And I found that a lot of times, unfortunately, there were gaps in care. A lot of inequities existed. So it started with YouTube and Black women, and it sort of broadened the lens a bit more. And I help all people with advocacy who need it here and abroad.
Thank you. Thank you. Amazing, amazing work, right? Exactly. You can get lost in her channel. Her channel's in the link, y'all.
So important. So important.
Yes. So, well, Matthew, before we close, anything else that you would like to say and or share?
I got definitely a last nerd out moment. When you were talking about Black healthcare, there's a woman by the name of Sarah Bass Allen. We all know her husband, Reverend Richard Allen. What most people don't know is during the yellow fever in the city of Philadelphia, the nurses were Black. They were from this amazing church called Mother Bethel AME. That nursing corps included the woman of the church, Sarah Bass Allen.
Wow.
Reverend Richard Allen wrote his first published work about the story of his wife serving the Philadelphia community during a plague. So the power of Black women advocating for health care is very deep. So I do appreciate your work, Dr. Natasha. That is so important.
Thank you.
And then last but not least for me, I want to tell everybody, start writing your history down. Write your life down. It helps your body. It helps your mind. As a writer, as a tour guide, get outside. Start walking. It helps your body. It helps your mind. As a musician, listen to some live music. We are Black melanated people. We need that. That is good for your soul. And get some sunlight. Don't let these people that ain't melanated tell you supposed to be inside in no cubicle. Take your hour for lunch outside. Get some sunlight. And remember, nothing that is happening to us now has not happened to us before. We can, will, and already have overcome. You just have to show up.
Come on. Come on. Now I'll throw a tambourine at the screen, but I can't throw it to djembe. I can't throw that at the screen.
Hey.
There you go. I got the laugh I needed from Matthew. It's all good. Good night, folks. That's all we got.
Now I understand. Brother Moja earlier when you were like, I don't know her. I am assuming she has pulled out instruments from nowhere before, and that is not the least of the surprises. Understood. Thank you, Dr. Kathleen. That was great.
You're welcome.
It did do the laughing necessary. It got me to a good point. Thank you. I was trying to be straightforward, but that one got me.
It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. Matthew, thank you. This was so incredibly informative and inspirational. To those who have joined us, we thank you for joining us as always. Please, again, be sure to hit that subscribe button for all of us, right? Be sure to go to the different websites that are in the link as well as in the write-up. Everybody's link is right there in the write-up. You can learn more about each of us. You can reach out to us. We hope that you go on some of these tours with family, by yourself, with classes, right? Get the knowledge, pass the knowledge. It's so important for our overall well-being, mentally, physically, spiritually. It's so important that we feed ourselves. And also check out our Sisters for Harmony. You can go to our go to my Ask Dr. Walls page, and I'll put that link in the chat room as well for Sisters for Harmony. We have our book club, which is talking about lose the weight on your mind, body, and spirit. And so that will be on the third Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. If you are interested in that, it is very important that you register, and all of that is going to be on the website so that you can register and get the link, because we do it in a Zoom room where we have full-fledged conversation. And what makes our book club so unique is that the author actually joins us and talks about his experience and why he wrote the book, and we get to work through the book together. So fantastic. Yes.
Dr. Wolf,
yes, dear.
I want to thank Sister Michiku for connecting me with
Michiko. How do you pronounce
Michiko?
It's Japanese,
For connecting me with Brother Palmer, and I want to thank Mother Bethel AME Church for connecting me to Sister Michiko. So thank you so much to those two spirits for connecting the dots for us.
And Deion Chambers for connecting you to Mother Bethel. We go down the road, right? We go.
That's how it works. You get one, and you just keep connecting the dots till you get the picture.
And we're going to thank Melissa Talley Palmer, who I actually know, Matthew. Look at that.
Everybody. She knows
Look,
everybody.
she does. She does. So we're going to thank her for raising you the way that she did so that you are doing the work that you're doing now. So we appreciate all of it. All right, y'all. Happy Black History Month. We know that's 365, right? Every day, all day. And continue to learn, develop. And as always, God bless. And until we meet again, continue to live your greatest life. We'll see you soon. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.